And this one goes to you. If Antoinette, you're in Romford, UK, good morning to you. And I hope that you have the best of the day and the weekend too. And well, as we have to do the newspapers. So we will have to take a look at some of the newspapers. Which one will be first? Mama, good morning to you first. Sorry.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Friday is finally here.
Yeah, Friday's is always one of those days when for me, when Friday comes, I know Monday is just around the corner. It really doesn't give me that comfort. Yeah.
I'm super excited about Fridays.
Right.
Yeah, because the following day is a Saturday and then it's a Sunday. Yeah. At least you can be a bit lazy. You can afford not to wake up early.
I'm trying to find a way of just integrating myself into enjoying what will happen as and when from today or from this day onwards in my life, because sometimes you want to have a rest and you can't have a rest.
Yeah.
And it's always like one thing just follows after the other.
True.
Yeah.
True. But listen, there's this weird, I mean, I think for those of us who are watching and listening to what is happening to some doctors in Canada, it sounds like very weird.
Okay.
That they will be protesting
actually
increase in salaries, when in most places that we know, people will gladly want to receive those salaries.
But I think that if you take a greater perspective of what our doctors earn here, it's not commensurate to what is earned in Canada.
Yeah.
So we don't have to say that our doctors will have to earn less.
Okay, listen. Yes. I was thinking that we will all talk about this for a moment. So let's all learn what is happening to doctors in Canada. The reason they say we want less pay. I'm hearing this for the first time. Let's take a watch. Okay, so I think we just have to play that again because we didn't quite soak in exactly what's happening. So we're going to play it again and I'm going to read it out so that we can understand why doctors in Canada are asking for less money when a lot of doctors in other places will be asking for more, and they will gladly say, give me that cash. Yeah,
I think so when you look at the story well too, it says they will want the facilities and patients to have better care and the facility to be improved. Other than that,
would you refuse a pay increment?
If I know already I'm being paid well, why not?
Would you refuse
but that's
a pay
relative.
increment
That's
now? Would you refuse a pay increment now?
Oh no, never. I'll not refuse it. I'll take it first.
Send us a message. Send us a message. We'll help you understand what's happening with the Canadian doctors. There's also one of those stories in Australia that will bring you up to speed. But okay, so over 600 Canadian doctors and medical students have signed a letter against recent pay rises, and then. They argue the salary is shocking considering the working conditions. Of nurses, clerks, and other professionals, and the cuts that have affected patient care. Okay. Physicians in Canada are paid on average $260,924 a year. Roland would know how much that translates to.
Into Ghana cedis?
They call for resources to be better distributed
into Ghana cedis. That's
to the public health system.
You got 1 million Ghana cedis.
Okay, so there you have it. So that's it. That's the reason they want those monies translated into something else. They should put it to some other better use.
Improve the facilities and then pay those who work be below the doctors well too. Yeah.
But it's not everybody who is disagreeing. I listened to one
majority
of the leaders, but they said that those who don't quite agree, they say, okay, this is law, so let's just abide. They're like, I don't mind if I get the same or if I get an increment. I just think that it's law, so let's stick to the law.
Yeah. Anyway, increment is increment.
I'll take it. They should bring the extras to Ghana.
No, but the thing is that many people are underpaid in Ghana. I mean, many categories of workers. So I don't think that the benchmark is the same. I saw all the commentary on social media. Why we didn't do it in Ghana? But I mean, in reality, doctors are not paid commensurate to what other professional doctors in other doing countries or perhaps better developing countries are paying their doctors. So it has to be put in a better perspective. It's not as if doctors in Ghana are paid the best.
Yeah.
I mean, generally, we barely make ends meet. It's hand to mouth, right?
We'll do the newspapers, but perhaps we're going to start online. Not so traditional this morning. We'll start with myjoyonline.com before we bring you the hardcore newspapers today. So we're doing myjoyonline.com. We'll do City FM Online. We'll touch base with the BBC. And then we will do the newspapers. So Roland, myjoyonline.com.
All right, so let's do myjoyonline.com. And myjoyonline.com has a story. NCA formally notifies Kasapa of plans to terminate license. It says the NCA has warned Kasapa Telecom that due to its inability to meet regulatory license obligations, there is currently an ongoing process to revoke its mobile cellular license. Okay, so it's an ongoing issue. God did not assign gender roles. Vicky Hammer pushes for equality. I agree. Vicky Hammer has put forward a concept in Hinduism that she believes can cure domestic abuse. All right, it's good. We can get some Hindu lessons from her. KNUST review academic curricula, and it says that Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technologies are apparently reviewing its academic curricula and research programs to meet the current socio-economic needs of society. Well, what English is that, Mabi? Well, we've always been told that the tertiary institutions need to
especially the public ones.
Yes, need to model programs that really reflects the current state of development across the world.
So if that's what they're doing, then that's a good thing.
Well, they've been saying this for decades.
Well, but now they're doing it.
Well, let's see.
For the entire institutions to say that this is what we're doing, that's a big deal. It's not like one department that say we're reviewing our curricula, but it's the entire university, which is a good step. It's very slow. It's been slow in coming, but finally, if we're here.
All right.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Ghana seeks to batter bauxite for roads, bridges. I think that is always known. You know that we went to the Chinese for some 19 billion, ultimately from 14 to racking up to about $19 billion. So we know what we went in for. But let's move on. Soldier and Sisters, bridge for equity lots timely 2018 theme for International Women's Day. Okay, next. CAF Champions League, Algeria's Etoile Seti promised to maltreat Adriana in second leg. Claim they have been attacked and mistreated in Ghana. That's normal. We should know we will expect it. Even if you treat them well, right? If we go there. Okay, let's go. Government to blow 2 billion Ghana cedis on collapsed UT capital banks, minority demand answers. And we have government is reportedly heading back to the financial market to raise some 2 billion Ghana cedis to clear debts owed by collapsed UT and capital banks. Okay, I'm talking all that puts into perspective all the issues that have been happening this week about Unibank and ADB and the shareholding and all that. But let's go to mobilizing Africa's female youth to build a continent beyond aid. Beyond aid. And it says a recent rising determination for change in women's rights, equality and justice as demonstrated by global women movement and campaigns such as the Me Too and Time's Up reveals that all that is up for Africa female youth to build a continent beyond aid. We just put together a bunch of English Really. And the Commander Sugar Factory apparently is remaining shut 2 years after inauguration.
Yes.
It's just wasting away. It's one of those things, right? It's not new to us. So
we're all the monies that we pumped into this.
$35 million initially.
I thought we resurrected it, and it was supposed to be running.
Because we're told that it's because we didn't have the
sugarcane.
Yes, the outgrower source for it. So I thought maybe we should have used a year to do all that, and a whole season has passed.
Apparently
no
not.
Show. So,
apparently not.
Yeah.
But we're not sure if it's due to the change in administration as well, and so now focus is different, or really this whole factory wasn't viable, but it was just something that was done to kind of like scratch the surface.
Are you saying that we can manufacture sugar in Ghana?
I said I don't know.
I know you don't know, but
I don't know if the Right to Information Bill had been passed, then
we can ask questions.
You and I wouldn't be struggling to figure out exactly what is wrong.
We'll just take
with
1
the
hour
Commander Sugar Factory
and go and ask for information.
Like we will know exactly what happened before the NDC left, and then what is happening now.
Okay, talking about Right to Information. Good morning to you, Daniel Ochema Boaji, Member of Parliament for Bantama.
He's sitting on it, eh?
Oh no, it just came to mind.
Point is, it has not even made its way to Parliament again. Like it hasn't gone the second time. But
you know, it was nearly passed before the end of the last Parliament. Yes,
it was.
Charlie.
But why did they wait till last minute? You know,
it's one of those things that we do.
Yeah.
Marvi, let's move on with the online portal.
Let's do City FM. Okay, so on City FM online, Asin Anshienso. Roland?
Amianso, or which one is that?
I don't think this is Amianso. But you know, the focus is that pregnant women treated in the open in shabby chips compound. Okay. Tutor calls of strike after NLC meeting. That's the
Technical
University lecturers. And then old vandal killing. Lawyer wants accused person discharged. You remember this?
Yes.
Yeah.
They went to a funeral, went to the Commonwealth Hall. He's only an associate, you were called, of the Commonwealth Hall, and there was an altercation. So
like play.
Then I'm told that
you just
there was some stabbing, whether through a bottle or a broken bottle.
That's sad. So that case is on. And this is just saying that the lawyer for the accused wants the accused person discharged. Kufuor's Ghana Beyond Aid, mere rhetoric. That's former Vice President Emisa Arthur speaking there. And then in the Western region, father jailed 15 years for raping daughter. Shame on him. He's a 45-year-old Mason. He was arrested for impregnating his biological daughter. Even if that was not his biological daughter, but it was a daughter, still wouldn't have made sense. 6 Ghanaians in US charged for online romance scams. That story is on City FM online. Okay, so that's it. Ministry of Health to restrict access to tramadol painkiller. And then other stories you can find on the page. Let's do the daily graphic. We'll do the newspapers and then we'll flip and then do the BBC. So let's do the newspapers. We'll start with the Ghanaian Times newspaper first.
Okay, so we are front page of the Ghanaian Times at the International Women's Day celebration. We're told that keep girls in school to avoid early marriage, first lady to parent. I do agree with that. You keep the ladies occupied, but also give them good counseling or good information for them to be aware that just in case you want to indulge in all that, you want to have an active sexual life, you have to protect yourself. And also, with the STDs that are around, you make sure you protect yourselves adequately. Check your kidney frequently, according to a story attributed to the Vice President. All right, that's curious. And it says the Vice President has called on Ghanaians to frequently visit medical facilities and check on their kidney. He says a spate of chronic kidney disease is a wake-up call for all and sundry, especially women, to take the responsibility of protecting their kidney Chronic kidney disease affects approximately 195 women worldwide, and it's currently the 8th leading cause of death in women, with close to 600,000 deaths each year. Studies already reveal that kidney diseases are more likely to develop in women compared with men, with an average of some 14% prevalence in women and 12% in men. It makes really no difference, the 2% disparity. President leaves for India to attend the ISA summit, and that story also is on page 17. It says the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, yesterday left Ghana to attend the International Solar Alliance Summit. It's being held in New Delhi, India, at the invitation of the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, and the President of France, Emmanuel Macron. And the summit, which is being attended by some 25 heads of state and government, is expected to provide a dedicated platform for cooperation among solar resource-rich countries aimed at realizing the common goals of increasing the use of solar energy, meeting the energy needs of the International Solar Alliance member countries in a safe, convenient, affordable, equitable, and sustainable manner. Charlie Brofone, Diana, it's running too much. Too much English. Okay, so we have 7 Ghanaians charged with online romance scams. The story is on page 3. I shared this on my timeline on Facebook yesterday. It says at least 6 Ghanaians have been charged by a U.S. grand jury for conspiring to launder and for laundering money in an online romance scam. These Ghanaians were among 8 persons charged on February 14, 2018, and all those who keep attributing all these to Nigerians. Now stop. Okay? All nationalities are also involved in fraud. Online, it says 7 Ghanaians. So listen well, and the story continues. That we're told that, well, this is coming from a statement of the Attorney General of the U.S. Southern District of Ohio. And 8 Central Ohio defendants charged on Valentine's Day have now been indicted by a grand jury, etc. And the 8 persons are identified as Kwabna Bunsu, Kwesi Opong, Kwesi Ansa, John Amwa, Samuel Entry, Ken Faisal Lamido, and then we have Cynthia Apieje. Okay. And they are believed to have defrauded at least some 26 victims who have been identified so far. They contacted men and women throughout the United States of America with whom they cultivated a sense of affection as a medol. You know, I love you, and romance, and then they are collecting monies, and typical wire amounts range from $10,000 to $100,000.
That's the same story on I think it was the CTFM page now.
And they use websites like Match.com, ChristianMingle.com, BabyBoomerPeopleMeet.com, PlentyOfFish.com.
That's a website?
OurTime.com. I'm going to visit these.
That's a dating website.
eHarmony.com and Facebook. In one example, let me just read it. This is getting interesting. In one example, Mama V, a victim believes she was in a serious relationship with a person named Frank Wilbeck. That's a Ghanaian fraudster, whom she met on Match.com, and she believed they planned to marry and paid $3,000 upfront to reserve a wedding site, and had purchased a wedding gown and shoes. To
someone you haven't seen, you haven't met.
But it's normal to meeting people online, they marry. So
yeah, but you don't plan marriage online.
Now, he said Wilbeck, that's the Ghanaian, Wilbeck told the victim he owned a consulting firm that tested gold for purity.
Wow.
And needed money to buy gold and gold contract. He said he expected to profit $6 million and will repay her with a profit. The victim wired money to accounts controlled by Amwa Bunsu and Apieje and Msuthu. Sounds very South African, and did not receive any money back. No wonder, you know, our shithole brothers in the rest of America get to be deported to Africa by Donald Trump. Crime is crime. It's not Nigeria, Ghana matter.
So they believe they fall in love so much they are willing to do everything and anything.
But Charlie,
plan the wedding, buy the wedding gown, but you haven't even met the guy.
But it's the communication. You are a bit conservative. In that society, they are open in meeting people. They have blind.
I agree. You can date online. You can
even do blind dating.
Yes, you can do all those.
Yeah.
But to the extent of planning the marriage and buying the gown and all
Yes, but
that.
if you develop a certain relationship with someone, very romantic, you may think that you're up there.
Oh.
You will be sent pictures, not pictures of a black
Yeah,
man.
but I'm thinking that the next...
Of Wilbeck, Frank Wilbeck.
I'm thinking that if I was really in love, I would say, okay, I'm coming to Ghana to see you. Yeah.
That's the African way. Who's Africa? You guys, you are fear. You're afraid.
But our men are really smart.
Well,
but that's not a good thing.
Being smart also lands you. Being smart also lands you in prison.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the
you
bad
can't
thing
pretend
about
to be somebody that you're not, and toil with somebody's heart. Not only that, with their hard-earned monies as well, because people from outside invest heavily in some of these relationships. You're done with the Times?
I think I'm done.
Okay, let's do the Daily Graphic newspaper. On the front page, Comenda Sugar Factory shuts, Chiefs farmers disappointed. That story we found on myjohnline.com here on page 3 in the Daily Graphic newspaper. It says the factory set up to provide 7,300 direct and indirect jobs remains shut 2 years after its inauguration. Sugarcane farmers and the people of the Comenda Edina Eguafo Abrem municipality in the central region are hoping against hope that efforts by the Ministry of Trade and Industry to reactivate the multi-million-dollar factory will bear fruits. So it tells you that if you go on to read the story, it tells you about the enthusiasm and the hope that is being expressed. It goes back to the inauguration, the efforts that's gone into it, the gloomy picture now, and then the plans that government has for this factory. I wonder if really there is hope. Was it false alarm, really? But we may never know what the real truth is. Still on the front page of the Daily Graphic, ban on small-scale mining extended again. And that extension comes with a picture of Mr. John Peter Amau, the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources. That story is on page 16. And then Court of Appeal announced judgment deaths findings against Woyome. Also on page 16. So we stay on that page for a while. First, for the third consecutive time, the ban on small-scale mining has been extended until sanity returns to the small-scale mining sector. The initial 6-month ban that was placed on small-scale mining in the heat of the war against illegal mining at the beginning of 2017 was extended by another 6 months, which was expected to end in January 2018. However, speaking to journalists in Accra last Wednesday, the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources said the ban would not be lifted until the targets set by the government in the small-scale mining sector had been met. So that's it. Some hopes dashed there because there were a lot of expectations that the ban would be lifted, but there's good reason if it hasn't, and there's some more extension given to this. It just tells you how government is determined against all the opposition, against all odds, to see that Galamsey comes to a halt. So this other story that says the Court of Appeal has announced certain adverse findings made by the Judgment Debts Commission against the businessman Alfred Agbeshi Woyome with regard to the 51.2 million Ghana cedis judgment debt paid to him by the state. Joseph Akable did a very extensive report for us in our AM News. If you missed it, you can always catch up on myjohnline.com. So just go to TV, the TV section, myjohnline.com, just scroll down and you catch up. Center spread, President swears in 3 new envoys. They are going to Japan, Zimbabwe, and Ethiopia. And then address customs traditions which hinder girls' education, and then speakers at International Women's Day, Durban. And the First Lady, Rebecca Kufuor, put together some former First Ladies and a second lady, if you like. So there's a picture of the picture in the center spread of the paper that captures what I'm hustling to describe. Is Mrs. Rebecca Kufuor, First Lady with the wife of the Vice President Samira Baumia, and then former First Lady Nana Konadu Rawlings, and then Madame Fulera Liman, and then Madame Ramatu Mahama. So it's one of this will be a very historic moment. All these women coming together in one place. Back page of the Daily Graphic. Carth blacklist companies engaged in fraudulent deals. Japanese embassy present grant to GBC and 4 others. That story is on the back page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. There's a handshake, our foreign minister, and that's of Japan. Okay, that's it for the Daily Graphic newspaper. Roland?
All right, so now let's move on. Let's look at the Daily Guide newspaper. Woyoma floors Justice Apo in court. We told you about that. And the Daily Guide, a tabloid, they know how to capture the headlines well. Samira reviews Daily Guide, and it's one of the several topsy-turvy appearances of various high-profile women on various shows across the capital. And then we have Obiri Boahin faces sanction. NDC rejects light bill cuts. Anti-NAPO agenda flops.
Which one's that?
You know, there was an office of the MPP in Menchia that was attacked yesterday by some supporters. But let's go to the Obiri Boahin story. And that story should be on page 6, I believe. It says that the vice chairman of the ruling New Patriotic Party, Frederick Anto, says the case involving the Deputy General Secretary of the party, Nana Obiri Boahin, cannot be swept under the carpet. This is because the claims made in the secret audio recording containing damaging allegations against the presidency were full of lies. He accused Nana Obiri Boahin of debasing the MPP government and weakening the party's corporate standing by his false statement made by the National Democratic Congress activist because of his unique position as a national executive member. After reading the transcript from his audio tape conversation, the steering committee, and this is a quote, felt Nana Obiri Boahin has failed in his duty as a member to promote and protect the good name of the MPP as contained in the party's constitution. Anything that a member does to impugn the good name of the party and government is tantamount to misconduct, and in this case, for instance, he was utterly untruthful. And Mr. Anto stated on one of the stations on Hello FM in Kumasi, it says the MPP vice chair has refuted. We know all that has happened, okay? And there's also a story on page 6 of the paper saying that it has emerged that the critical electoral activities being embarked upon by the EC have been put on hold. It follows a decision by the chairperson of the commission, Mrs. Charlotte, was said to wait for official approval from the Ministry of Finance before authorizing any expenditure on electoral activities in the country. Her decision comes in the wake of demands by Alhaji Amadou Sule, her deputy in charge of operation, to the effect that he had not been given any budget for the Electoral Commission and its electoral activities, as was the case previously. Okay. Now let's go to the center spread of the News One pullout of the Daily Guide. It has a picture there of the beautiful looking second lady of our republic. My fashion is Ghana made, Samira Baumia. And she's saying that we're told that she has finally broken her silence about her enviable sense of fashion. Daily Guide here. Hey. Okay, it says the wife of the vice president, Samira Baumia, has finally broken her silence about her enviable sense of fashion and confessed her love for Ghanaian-made designs. Now we have other stories linked to other personalities. Yvonne Elson, the beautiful Yvonne Elson is there. So let's go there. Yvonne Elson, center spread, News One pull out the Daily Guide. I'm happy giving birth out of wedlock. Yvonne Elson, beautiful lady. Actress. You said it like 5 times. Charlie, no one for crowd. Actress Yvonne Elson has said while she believes it's the right thing to get married before having kids, she's happy having a child out of wedlock. And yeah, it says the award-winning actress stated that society tends to always put undue pressure on young women when it comes to the issue of marriage and giving birth. I agree. I wish you all the best. So, Bakasio holds the smoke show on March 31, and those are the stories we have.
The Finder newspaper, front page of the Finder. Gender activists pressure government to pass affirmative action bill without further delay. And yesterday, one of the stories, the news stories that we carried, was the gender minister giving the assurance that this was going to happen as soon as possible. We need coordinated healthcare delivery system, according to an expert. You can read about it. And then CAF to seek private funding for new oxygen plant. Parents plead for CSM vaccination of students. And GSC, that's the Ghana Stock Exchange, lifts suspension on trading of ADB shares. That came quickly as the announcement and the talk about Unibank owning the biggest share in ADB when that conversation came up. And there were officials of Unibank also speaking to that. The Ghana Stock Exchange quickly released a statement saying that they had halted the trading of ADB shares on the stock market, but that has been reversed now.
I think that was a good decision. That was a good decision.
We hope that it won't have any effect really in terms of, I don't know,
the share pricing, whether they'll fall or not.
Even normal customers.
Okay.
I've always said that I'm a very traditional person, and the moment I hear that, oh, there's this thing, and I feel my head, yeah,
you take an action.
I'm quickly acting. But hopefully that doesn't happen to ADB, and they will be able to sort all their things out. Now, a lot of things that were hidden in the box, they've suddenly come out, and everybody is having a say. We kind of have a fair idea what is happening to the bank. Okay, maybe we'll do a last newspaper, the Daily Dispatch.
So let's do the Daily Dispatch newspaper. It has on the front page, ban on illegal mining extended again, likely to be lifted in 2019. And the story is on the back page of the paper. It says the Minister of Lands, Natural Resources, Peter Amewu. When I see this name, I always remember Kuku Anyidoho during the election. So it's that man, Jean-Pierre Amewu, the Togolese.
But that story was in one of the papers.
At the time, he was the chairman of the MPP for the Volta region, and Charlie, he was doing some good work at the time. Well, so we're told that has announced the extension of the ban on illegal mining indefinitely, noting that government's agenda to hold the minutes has not been achieved. So it's already been read to you in the statement. Now we have 18,000 Ghanaians in Libya, Ghanaians selling Ghanaians also. The Minister of Foreign Affairs has stated. So all that we brought to you already. Yesterday was key among the discussions as well.
Yeah, we've got some messages on WhatsApp and regular SMS. So we're going to read some messages and then we will, just do sports. From Amufa Eric in Cape Coast says Ghanaian robbers and fraudsters are always thinking about new ways of stealing innocent people. That's and then you're saying thank you to JoyNews for the updates. Here's this issue about would you refuse a pay increment and the Canadian doctors. This one says the Canadian doctors issue is really interesting and worth emulating. They have studied the conditions in their country, hence their protest. Hope Ghanaians will emulate. That's from Jolalian Nyasa in Ava Dakwa. It's been a while since we had or we read a message from you. Hope that you're well. This one says, today is my birthday and my wife's as well. I want to wish her a special happy birthday. I'd like her to know I'm blessed to have her as a wife and the mother of my children. Okay. Wait. Oh, you didn't give me your name. So happy birthday to you and to your wife as well. I would appreciate if you forward your names to me. This one from Emilia and Aswasi saying the suspension of Obribwahin tells us that what he said was the truth. That is why he is suspended. If really Nanado wants to deal with corrupt practices in this country, he should use his own party as a case study. Greetings to Nana Kwesi, incoming chairman, Isham Alhassa, and Julius Agahoa. All right, so this one says, today is my birthday. Oh, happy birthday to you, Emmanuel Edu Jemfi. It's your birthday today, Emmanuel Edu Jemfi. Bush and SDA in Kumasi, saying happy birthday to you. We wish you the best and have a fantastic day today. We will come back with more of your messages, but we have to say good morning to Benedict.
Benedict.
Yeah, good morning.
The gentleman who is trying to appear old. Yeah, I see a growing beard. When did you start that? Last week?
Oh, no, not last
It's been for some time.
This has been there for like a year now.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Yeah, I did.
Akukumi.
Which one
What's up? What are we talking about today?
Well, today we're looking ahead to the English Premier League game involving Manchester United, Liverpool. You know, is a race for
Manchester United, Liverpool.
Yeah.
Is it Manchester City or Manchester United?
United, Liverpool.
A race to the second position.
Exactly.
It makes a lot of
Well,
difference.
whoever wins,
whoever
will have
wins.
a 3-point
Now,
gap.
no, now it's Manchester United. They are leading Liverpool 2 points.
Exactly.
So Liverpool should
even
win
if
and
it's
lead
a
with
draw,
point.
we're still number 2.
Yeah, but Liverpool should win and lead with the points.
Against,
Yeah.
They walk alone. They walk alone, and they will be walking alone.
No,
this time
currently
around.
they are not working alone because you look at their last.
But this
game
will
in
be a
UEFA
tough game.
Yeah, it will be a tough game,
Yeah.
and it's the early kickoff tomorrow in the Premier League. Also, we are talking about Indiana Stars. You know, they played in the CAF Champions League.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Wednesday they won by a goal to nil against Setif. The vice president of the FA has been speaking about the game as well as Kwesi Appiah. So we'll talk about that.
When's
as
the
well.
return game?
The return game is in 10 days' time in Algeria, and we won by a goal to nil. So it makes it very, very difficult, especially when you are playing against these North African teams.
Yeah.
You should at least win the first leg, but not less than 3 goals.
Yeah, I think that was our fear. But they still tried. I mean, it's not easy to even play them.
Yeah, but it will be very difficult. And also, we'll talk about the.
So you sports journalists think that they're not going to win?
I think it will be difficult, but
I have hope because I wasn't even expecting that 1-0 nil for the fact that
they had a penalty
they at
and
least won a game.
Yeah, and the thing is, they played against a North African team before this one, Al Tahadi from Libya, which they lost by a goal to nil. They're here in Ghana, they won 2-0. And finished 2-1 on aggregate, so anything is possible. Yeah. This is football. Now,
even that game, I think even that game was played in Egypt or Morocco or something.
Yeah, it was played in Morocco. If Real Madrid could go to France to beat Paris Saint-Germain,
then it's possible.
It's possible.
What do you mean? Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain. I mean, what kind of comparison?
In my living memory, I remember that there was a match we had to qualify. It was a World Cup qualifier during the days of Abedi Pele in the 90s. We went to Algiers. Charlie, oh,
that's what they normally do. That's what they normally do.
Already before you come onto the the hotel doesn't have facility. Charlie.
And even when
I love them too much.
Even at Santi Kotoko, Hartlepool, they all suffered from that. When they were playing
the
very well in the Champions League,
the Confederations
Cup. You
Back
play
in
them
the
here when you play here. You can even score as many as 4. When you go, they will score you 5. So it's interesting.
So Indiana is not qualifying.
Okay.
I think they can qualify.
All right. So Benedict will come back with the details of all the sports headlines that you've heard this morning and more. Stay with us. When we come back, we've got a fantastic conversation with some wonderful women, and we're hoping to learn from them. We're asking career, family, all the communities. Can women really do it all? Can we do it all? Let's face reality. We'll have.
Well, the men do it, so the women should be able to do it. You know.
You guys, you haven't been pregnant before. Have you been pregnant before? Have you carried pregnancy for 9 months before?
But we carry a lot of babies around.
Go to the gym and go and see
because
the number of
a man's spermatozoa contains over 5 million. What does it?
Really?
5 million.
We'll pull you into the conversation. Come with us.
5 million. We carry all this every day.
Even
as I'm carrying.
Stay with us. We've got details of sport with Benedict coming up right after this.